What if I told you that your looks, your bank account, and even your confidence aren't what make you truly attractive? There's one rare trait, almost invisible, that separates magnetic men from the rest. And the moment you unlock it, something shocking happens. 95.7% of women will find you absolutely irresistible. It's not charm. It's not status. It's not even power. It's something much deeper, a quiet force that Stoic men throughout history mastered to command. Respect without ever chasing it. Now let's break the illusion most men are trapped in. You've been told that attraction is about your appearance, your money, or your social standing. But here's the brutal truth. All of that fades in comparison to one single quality. A quality so subtle yet so transformative, it changes how women see you. Without you ever saying a word. What is it? It's the ability to remain completely unaffected by external validation. To stay grounded in a world obsessed with likes, attention, and approval. The man who doesn't need recognition becomes the one who stands out. This isn't about being cold or arrogant. It's about mastering your inner world so deeply that praise doesn't sway you and rejection doesn't shake you. That's real confidence. That's real power. And Stoicism? It's the ancient code that unlocks this mastery. The truth is, women aren't drawn to the man who chases them. They're drawn to the man who doesn't need them. The man who moves through life on his own terms, steady, calm, and rooted in purpose. History is filled with such men. Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca. They didn't chase power, they embodied it. And because of that, power followed them. In a world where desperation repels and calm presence captivates, this one mindset shift will redefine your entire presence. Because the second you stop seeking validation, you become the man they can't ignore. Stay with me. What I'm about to share next will show you how to build this mindset from the inside out. You now understand that true attraction begins where the need for approval ends. Let's take it one step further into the heart of what truly makes a man magic. #1. The power of indifference. Why is detachment so powerful? Why does it draw people in rather than push them away? Because most men fail before they even begin. Why? Because they come across as too eager, too invested, too desperate for validation. They chase, they try to impress. They over-explain and over-prove. But here's the paradox. The more effort you put into seeking someone's attention, the less powerful you appear. And here's the raw truth that most men don't want to hear. Women don't fall for the man who needs their attention. They fall for the man who's perfectly fine without it. This is where Stoicism reveals its hidden strength. Indifference, not as carelessness, but as quiet power. Not cold detachment, but centered presence. When a man lets go of the outcome, when he acts from self-sufficiency instead of seeking reassurance, he becomes magnetic. He triggers something primal in the female psyche, a pull toward the unattainable. Why does indifference hold such weight? Because human nature is drawn to what it can't easily possess. The forbidden, the elusive, the mysterious. These are the things we chase, not the things that come running. So when a man is always available, always replying, always eager, he sends a clear signal. He has nowhere more important to be. His time, energy, and attention seem cheap because they're given away too freely. And what's easy to get is rarely treasured. But the man who is calm in silence, who stays focused on his mission regardless of who notices, who doesn't shift his center just because someone enters the room, he becomes the prize. And this isn't just pop psychology. It's core Stoic philosophy. Take Marcus Aurelius, the emperor of ancient Rome. He stood at the center of empires, surrounded by temptation, flattery, and influence. People from every direction vied for his approval. Rulers, advisors, even powerful women. And yet, he remained unshaken. Earlier, we saw how Marcus Aurelius, surrounded by temptation and pressure, never chased attention. He stood firm, not because he didn't feel, but because he mastered the art of not being ruled by feelings. That kind of inner stillness is what true strength looks like. And it leads us to the second, equally powerful trait. Number 2, emotional control. The ultimate signal of power and attraction. Most men don't lose because they're not attractive enough. They lose long before they realize they're even being tested, because they lack emotional control. Picture this. A man walks up to a woman. He's nervous. His energy is jittery. He reacts to everything she says, constantly seeking reassurance from her responses. His anxiety is loud, even if he's quiet, and she can feel it. That desperation? It pushes her away. Now picture someone else. This man approaches with calm energy. His words are measured. His face doesn't twitch when she tests him. He isn't cold, he's composed. He's not trying to impress. He's simply being himself, grounded and whole. So who do you think should be drawn to? The answer is clear. In a chaotic world, the man who remains composed becomes a magnet. Emotional control isn't just attractive, it's rare. And in its rarity lies power. Why does this matter so much? Because when pressure hits, most people crumble. But the man who stays steady signals strength. He signals leadership. And above all, he radiates certainty. The kind of certainty that makes others feel safe and drawn in. Here's the hard truth. Women don't trust men who can't control themselves. If you get angry easily, take offense at every little thing, or spiral emotionally, you're not just hurting your relationships. You're giving away your power. But the man who can remain composed when rejected, who can laugh at an insult without taking it personally, who doesn't flinch when challenged, that man is dangerous in the best way. Because real power doesn't scream. It doesn't rage. It's quiet. It's controlled. It's deliberate. The Stoic example, Seneca and the mastery of emotion. Seneca, one of Stoicism's greatest minds, once wrote, "A raging storm is dangerous, but a still sea commands respect." Think about that. Anyone can be loud when provoked, but it takes true mastery to remain calm when you have every reason not to. Seneca was betrayed, exiled, and falsely accused again and again. Yet he never lashed out, never lost control. And because of that, he maintained respect and influence, even among his enemies. That's what Stoicism teaches. Emotions are not the enemy, but they must be mastered, not suppressed. A Stoic man feels everything, but he lets nothing control him. Modern power. Why this makes you unstoppable today? Look around you. Most men are emotionally fragile. They get triggered over nonsense. They react without thinking. They panic under pressure. Their emotions are in the driver's seat, but not you. You walk into a room and without saying a word, you're felt. Why? Because your calm presence speaks louder than noise. You listen deeply. You don't interrupt. You respond with clarity, never out of impulse. That's why people respect you. That's why women are drawn to you. Not because you're chasing them, but because your self-control commands attention. You stop being easy to manipulate. Because no one controls the man who controls himself. This is what makes you truly magnetic. Not wealth, not popularity, but composure in the face of chaos. So how do you start applying this today? Here's one simple practice. When something stirs you up, pause. Don't speak. Don't act. Just breathe. Let the emotion pass. Then respond with clarity. Master your tone. Slow your speech. And watch what happens next. In the last section, we uncovered how emotional control separates powerful men from reactive ones. Now let's add another layer, something just as powerful, yet often overlooked: your availability. #3. The scarcity effect. Why being less available makes you more valuable. Start here. Speak with calm certainty. Reactive men tend to speak too fast, too loud, and far too often. But a Stoic man chooses his words like a swordsman chooses his strikes, calculated, intentional, and never wasted. And always remember this truth: no one can have power over you unless you give it to them. Don't allow someone's opinion or emotional outburst to hijack your internal state. Every challenge you face, every test of patience, every subtle jab, see it as an opportunity to show your restraint. The more you practice staying centered, the more natural it becomes. Now, let's talk about value and why most men accidentally destroy theirs. Ask yourself, what makes something valuable? Simple. Rarity. It's a universal law from ancient treasures to modern psychology. The rarer something is, the more we desire it. So here's the hard pill to swallow. If you're always available, you will rarely be desired. Let that sink in. When was the last time you deeply desired something that came effortlessly? Probably never. Humans are wired to chase what's just out of reach. The unattainable creates tension, and tension fuels desire. This is exactly why the most magnetic men are not the ones trying to be noticed all the time. They don't flood your attention. They don't prove their worth. They understand something deeper. Their time, energy, and attention are limited and valuable. And because of that, others, especially women, feel the pull. Why? Because scarcity creates mystique. When something isn't easily accessible, our brains automatically assign it more worth. It sparks curiosity. It makes people wonder. It makes them chase. Now apply this principle to your presence. The man who's constantly texting back instantly, constantly available for every call, always dropping everything to respond, becomes predictable. Predictability turns into comfort. Comfort becomes routine. And routine leads straight to boredom. But the man who doesn't always reply instantly, who keeps his priorities in order, who requires effort to access, he becomes the challenge. And what do people chase? Challenges. Because deep down, we don't value what's handed to us. We value what we must earn. The Stoic example. Epictetus and the power of detachment. Epictetus, one of the greatest Stoic thinkers, grasped this at the core. He taught that a man's strength is defined by his independence, by his ability to remain unattached to external outcomes. He warned that when you become too available, too eager to be wanted, you give away your power. You begin to operate on someone else's terms. You become the follower, not the leader. The Stoic solution? Hold your value high. Don't overextend. Never chase. And above all, never trade your purpose for temporary attention. When you live by this, something fascinating happens. People feel your presence more when you're not even there. Modern application. Why scarcity makes you unstoppable. Let's bring this into today's world. Who commands more respect? The manager who's always around, answering every question, always available. Or the leader who appears when it matters, whose time is limited, yet when he speaks, everyone listens. It's the same with attraction. The more accessible you are, the more people take you for granted. But when you're focused on building, growing, living with purpose, when your time is scarce, people start to wonder, why isn't he always around? What is he doing that's more important than me? How can I earn more of his attention? This is how you flip the dynamic. Previously, we explored how scarcity builds mystique and flips the power dynamic. Now let's dive into how to use this power strategically to make others chase you without ever lifting a finger. How to apply scarcity instantly. It starts with one simple rule. Stop overgiving your time and energy. No more constant texting. No more replying the second someone messages you. Let people wonder where you are, what you're doing, and why you're not always reachable. Your time is a gift, not a guarantee. Shift your focus entirely to your own goals. Pour your energy into your growth, your mission, your life. When your purpose is clear and compelling, relationships become a complement, not a crutch. And here's the mindset shift that changes everything. Be selective with your time. Not everyone deserves unlimited access to you. Let people earn your attention. Make your presence valuable by limiting it. Learn the quiet power of walking away, of leaving first. Whether it's a conversation, a date, or a social setting, exit before your presence becomes expected. That's how you stay unforgettable. Now, let's uncover a deeper force, something that silently destroys your value when ignored, but unlocks unshakable power when mastered. Number 4. The unshaken mind. How Stoicism eliminates neediness. Neediness is the silent killer of attraction. It's the unseen force behind why so many men get ignored, friend-zoned, or overlooked. Because nothing pushes people away faster than the sense that you need them to feel whole. And here's the uncomfortable truth. The moment you need someone, you've already lost them. Neediness isn't just in your words. It's in your tone, your body language, your energy. People can feel it. It signals dependence. It screams, I need your attention to feel valuable. And that signal? It repels. The second you put someone on a pedestal, they can't help but look down on you. But there's a way out. A mindset so powerful that it erases neediness at the root. A mindset practiced by the most composed and magnetic men in history. Stoicism. Stoicism teaches one core truth. Nothing external, no opinion, no relationship, no circumstance should have power over your internal world. Master this, and you become untouchable. Why neediness destroys power. Let's break it down. Neediness is rooted in attachment. Attachment to people. Attachment to outcomes. Attachment to external validation. It's the fear of loss. The constant inner dialogue. What if she leaves? What if she loses interest? What if I'm not good enough? The moment you think like this, you've already surrendered your power. Because now you're no longer the prize. You're the one chasing. And in the game of attraction, the one who needs less always wins. The Stoic example. Marcus Aurelius and the power of detachment. Marcus Aurelius, Stoic emperor, warrior, philosopher, lived by one timeless principle. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. He knew that control comes from within. He didn't rely on opinions. He didn't crave recognition. He didn't need approval. Why? Because a man who needs nothing cannot be controlled. That's what makes certain men so magnetic. They move with calm certainty. They're not seeking. Validation. They're not desperate for approval. They give themselves approval first. Modern application. How to become unshaken. Fast forward to today. Most men are constantly chasing feedback. They overtext, they overthink. They constantly second-guess themselves. But the Stoic man, he's different. He is rooted in purpose. His mission is the foundation. Everything else is secondary. He's not obsessed with winning or losing. He's calm regardless of outcome. And because he's comfortable alone, no external validation has the power to complete or break him. Here's the paradox. The less you need, the more you attract. How to apply this? Instantly start by detaching from outcomes. Whether it's relationships, business, or daily interactions, stop obsessing over how things turn out. Earlier, we uncovered how detaching from outcomes and building emotional independence makes you more grounded, powerful, and attractive. Now let's take it even deeper, into a mindset that turns you into someone others instinctively follow. Focus on who you are, not what you get. Most people chase attraction, success, recognition. But here's the shift that changes everything. Stop focusing on results. Start focusing on who you're becoming. Master emotional independence. That means no more fishing for compliments. No more needing others to tell you you're enough. Learn to validate your own worth internally. Stop asking, "Am I good enough?" and start declaring, "I know what I bring." Adopt the abundance mindset. There is no one shot, no one person, no only chance. Opportunities are everywhere. Relationships are everywhere. Power, purpose, fulfillment, they're all available to those who believe in plenty, not lack. Act like it. Build an internal code. Decide who you are, what you value, and what you stand for, and then live it. Your principles are your compass. And when you let external opinions dictate your actions, you're no longer leading, you're following. Number 5. Respect over approval. Why women crave leaders, not pleasers. There are two kinds of men in this world. The pleaser, who bends over backward to be liked, who avoids conflict, who agrees with anything to keep the peace. And the leader who stands firm in his values, who speaks with clarity, and never trades his self-worth for temporary approval. Only one of these men gets chased. The other gets overlooked. So ask yourself, which one are you? Here's the harsh truth most won't admit: seeking approval kills attraction. It's not niceness that draws people in. It's strength, it's clarity, it's direction. You don't become desirable by agreeing with everything she says. You don't win hearts by placing her on a pedestal. That only makes you predictable, and predictability leads to boredom. But the man who commands respect first, the man who's not afraid to challenge, to lead, to walk away when his values are compromised, that's the man who keeps her attention. Why? Because women aren't drawn to men who try to earn approval. They're drawn to men who set the standard. Why respect is stronger than approval? Think of history's most powerful leaders: Marcus Aurelius, Alexander the Great, Napoleon. Were they always loved? No. Were they respected? Without question. People followed them because they stood for something. They didn't bend for applause. They didn't try to please everyone. They led. And real leadership means standing your ground, especially when it's uncomfortable. Apply this to attraction. The man seeking approval will betray his own beliefs to be liked. The man demanding respect, he'll speak truth, even if it costs him popularity. The man seeking approval is afraid to say no. The man commanding respect sets boundaries with zero hesitation. And here's the irony: the more you prioritize respect over approval, the more attractive you become, because people, especially women, are wired to admire strength. They respond to presence. They crave direction. The Stoic example, Epictetus and the unbreakable will Epictetus. One of Stoicism's wisest minds once said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." What did he mean? That real power is found in not caring what others think. That standing by your principles, even when it's unpopular, separates men of substance from men of softness. Epictetus had every reason to seek approval. He was born a slave. Yet he lived with more dignity, influence, and strength than many kings. Why? Because he didn't chase acceptance. He built self-respect. And in doing so, he earned the world's respect. Modern application. Why leaders win, pleasers lose. You can see this play out today. Men constantly trying to not rock the boat, to be agreeable, to avoid conflict. They abandon their backbone in relationships. They say yes when they mean no. They apologize for who they are, and then wonder why she lost interest. But the man who leads? He does the opposite. He speaks his mind not to provoke, but because he owns his truth. He isn't afraid of disagreement, he welcomes it. He doesn't beg for time or attention. He creates space and lets others rise to meet him, and women feel that energy immediately. They respect the man who respects himself. They are drawn to the man who sets the pace instead of following it. Not the one who chases, but the one who stands firm. So how do you become this man in real time? That's what we'll break down next. Specific actions that instantly shift you from approval seeker to purpose-driven leader. In the last section, we explored the difference between pleasers and leaders, how true respect is earned by standing firm, not by seeking approval. Now let's get even more practical. What are the actions that instantly shift you from a validation seeker to a man who commands presence? Stop over apologizing immediately if you've genuinely made a mistake. Of course, own it. But stop apologizing for things that don't require it. Don't apologize for your opinions. Don't apologize for your values. And especially, don't apologize for existing in your truth. If something doesn't align with your standards, say no without guilt. If a situation feels off, walk away without explanation. And when you speak, speak with conviction. Own your words. Don't water them down just to be liked. The goal is not to be offensive, it's to be authentic. Start making decisions based on your code, not someone else's expectations. That's how you cultivate self-respect, and self-respect is always more powerful than approval. Now, let's dig even deeper, because none of this sticks unless you fix the psychology that shapes your behavior. Number 6. The psychological shift. How to rewire your mind for real attraction. This might shock you, but attraction isn't about looks. It's not about money. And it's definitely not about chasing women. It's about who you are at your core. And this is where most men get it completely wrong. They obsess over tactics. They memorize lines. They analyze every move. They try to impress. But all that effort misses the point. Because attraction isn't built on what you say. It's built on what you believe. Here's the brutal truth. Women are not attracted to men who are trying to be attractive. They're drawn to men who radiate confidence, purpose, and self-respect. Naturally. No performance. No pretense. Just presence. If you want to change your results with people, stop chasing new techniques. Start rewiring your mindset. Why? Your current mindset is holding you back. Most men are operating from the wrong internal code. They believe attraction is something they have to earn. They think if they just say or do enough, they'll finally be rewarded. They act from a place of scarcity, treating every interaction like it's their last chance. And that energy? It kills attraction. Because when you believe you have to earn someone's approval, you've already positioned yourself beneath them. Women don't choose men who try too hard. They choose men who already believe they are enough. The Stoic example. Seneca and the power of perception. Seneca, one of Stoicism's most influential minds, once said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." And this could not be more relevant today. Most men sabotage themselves before they even speak. They imagine rejection before it happens. They assume they're not enough. They believe they have to become someone else to be wanted. But in reality, it's not rejection that breaks them. It's their own perception. Seneca understood that how we see the world determines how the world responds. Walk through life believing you are valuable, and people feel that energy. Walk through life needing to prove your worth, and people feel that too. The world reflects what you project. Modern application. Rewiring your mind for natural attraction. Take a look around. The most magnetic men aren't chasing anyone. They're not nervous. They're not calculating. They're simply being. They act as if they've already won, and because of that, they do. This isn't arrogance. It's not delusion. It's an unshakable belief in their value, and that belief changes everything. Suddenly, you stop worrying about what to say. You speak naturally. You stop fearing rejection because it doesn't define you. You stop placing others on pedestals. You start seeing everyone as equals, and paradoxically, the less you try to be attractive, the more attractive you become. How to apply this? Instantly shift from a scarcity mindset to one of abundance. Stop believing that one person, one moment, or one opportunity is your only shot. Open your eyes. Options are everywhere. Detach from outcomes. Walk into interactions not with the mindset of, "I hope they like me," but with, "Let's see if they're even worth my time." And most importantly, embody value. Stop searching for it. Stop proving it. Own it. Deeply. In the previous section, we discussed how attraction begins in the mind, and how shifting your mindset from scarcity to abundance can transform the way others respond to you. Now let's go one step further. Living in a way that makes you magnetic, not by force, but by presence. Stop searching outside. Your value comes from within. When you constantly look for external validation, you hand your power away. The world doesn't decide your worth. You do. Train yourself in emotional indifference. The less you need, the more you attract. When you want something too much, you push it away. The energy of desperation repels. The energy of grounded certainty pulls people in. So what's the solution? #7. Living the Stoic way. How to become unstoppable in life and attraction. Most men are caught in a loop of chasing. They chase money. They chase attention. They chase approval. And in doing so, they make a fatal mistake. They place their confidence in things they cannot control. If their career is going well, they feel powerful. If someone praises them, they feel valuable. But if things go south, or if someone rejects them, their entire identity crumbles. This is the life of a man in reaction mode. He's constantly swinging between highs and lows, dictated by external events. He lives on emotional autopilot. But the man who lives the Stoic way, he doesn't chase anything. He doesn't beg. He doesn't seek approval. He becomes. Because he knows something most people don't. Power isn't in control over others. It's in control over yourself. Why most men stay stuck. Most men think confidence is something they earn after success. But Stoic men know confidence is built before success, even in failure. When your confidence relies on outcomes, you're a puppet to the world. When someone praises you, you rise. When someone criticizes you, you fall. Your mood is controlled by forces outside of your influence. And women? They can sense that instantly. Attraction doesn't come from looks or smooth talk, it comes from presence. And presence is born from one thing: inner mastery. The Stoic example: Marcus Aurelius and the power of unshakable discipline. Marcus Aurelius, the last great emperor of Rome, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He faced relentless pressure, war, betrayal, political games, and the burdens of leading an empire. Yet he remained calm, focused, composed. Why? Because he never let external chaos disturb his internal peace. This is what made him powerful, not just as a ruler, but as a man. And this is what makes you magnetic. When the world tests you, you don't flinch. When emotions rise, you stay calm. When people try to shake you, you stand your ground. Because a man who has mastered himself never has to demand respect, he radiates it. How to become unstoppable in life and attraction. If you want to live the Stoic way, you have to stop playing the wrong game. Weak men play the game of validation. Strong men play the game of self-mastery. The weak man chases approval. The strong man cultivates discipline, presence, and emotional control. The weak man tries to win people over. The strong man wins himself over first. He doesn't argue with disrespect. He simply exits the room without emotional baggage. He doesn't beg for attention, because his very presence demands it. He knows you don't have to chase when you carry real presence. The three core pillars of the Stoic mindset to become truly unstoppable. Master these three principles. 1. Emotional detachment. Nothing controls you. Most men are emotional slaves. They react to everything. They get angry over petty slights. They obsess over validation. They crumble when faced with rejection. But a Stoic man? He chooses how to respond. He doesn't rage at small things. He doesn't beg for love or attention. And when he's rejected, he shrugs and moves forward, unchanged. Because nothing outside defines who he is. That centered energy, it makes him magnetic. 2. Unbreakable self-respect. You set the standard. Most men lower their standards just to be accepted. But a Stoic man does the opposite. He raises the bar. He sets his values, his boundaries, his code of honor. And once set, he doesn't bend, even if it costs him approval. Even if it makes him seem difficult. Because he knows compromising yourself to be liked means being liked for someone you're not. 3. Purpose over pleasure. You are mission-driven, while most men get distracted by noise, scrolling endlessly, reacting to opinions, chasing quick highs. The Stoic man operates differently. He's not chasing validation. He's building something. His mission is his compass. His discipline is his fuel. His legacy is his focus. He doesn't waste time with trivial pursuits or get lost in temporary pleasures. Instead, he's anchored to long-term purpose. Because he knows a man who is grounded in meaning doesn't need to impress. He naturally commands admiration. And when someone crosses a boundary, he doesn't argue. He enforces it. If a situation doesn't match his values, he doesn't complain. He walks away. If the world tells him to become something he's not, he refuses. Not out of rebellion, but out of loyalty to his own code. How to apply this: instantly detach from external validation. Stop seeking applause. Stop fearing criticism. Train yourself to be indifferent to outside opinions, good or bad. Before reacting, pause. Take a breath. Choose your response. That moment of control, that's real strength. Define your values. Set your non-negotiables. And then live by them, no matter who's watching. Prioritize your mission over fleeting attraction. Because when you build yourself from the inside out, attraction becomes a side effect, not a goal. Everything we've talked about comes down to one eternal truth. The strongest man is the one who masters himself, not the one who chases, not the one who begs to be seen, not the one who conforms. The Stoic man doesn't force respect. He embodies it. He doesn't follow trends. He follows principles. He doesn't ask for attention. He becomes the kind of man others can't ignore. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one." And that is your challenge. Stop seeking validation. Stop reacting to every opinion. Stop making choices from fear. Instead, live by your principles. Control your emotions. And above all, stay loyal to your mission. Because when you do that, you no longer need to prove your worth. The world will feel it without you saying a word. Final message. To viewers, this isn't just philosophy, it's a way of life. If you're ready to truly step into the Stoic path, take a moment now. Comment below. What's one Stoic principle you struggle with the most? Let's talk. And if this message spoke to something deep in you, like the video. It helps spread Stoic wisdom to those who need it most. Subscribe and turn on notifications, because in the next video, we're diving into the one trait that instantly commands respect. And trust me, you don't want to miss it.